recording. Oh, this is fantastic. Hello. I just got a camera. Okay. I don't know how this works. No, I didn't mean to press record. As long as I do not move a single muscle, nor jostle my desk at all, my camera that is precariously set atop a stack of books and its camera case that it came in shall remain safe. Anyhow, it's time to do book writing updates because I am just going to start a vlog series wherein I vlog my book writing process. I know, absolutely titillating. Just you wait, the most riveting situation of all time is coming to you live. Anyhow, I wrote a book earlier this year. Yes, I'm very excited about it. I will have some type of information to share with you soon, but until then, I am going to be updating you about writing book 2 to my book 1. Just a little backstory, I started writing book 1 in February of last year on an extremely intensive deadline, which was, I think I had like 30 to 40 days to get a full first draft done, or not full, I think it was 75,000 words. Basically, I had to get about 75,000 to 80,000 words of a book that is readable and in a readable form quick. It was an extremely wild, intensive time, and I was going through a lot of things at the time, and honestly, I sort of did it as a joke to myself because I was like, LOL, there's no way I can do this and write a book, but I did. Anyways, I woke up really early, and I was like, I'm just gonna see if I can do this because I usually wake up at 6 a.m. anyways, and lo and behold, I definitely did anyhow. So let's just say that things went very well with that book, and now we are on to book 2, which is extremely exciting, and I am so very happy to be doing it, but let me just tell you, book 2 is a pain in my arsehole, simply because it takes me for fucking ever to figure out what book I am writing. And it is a book 2 in a duology that I was planning to be a duology all along, basically. For a second, I was like, is this gonna be a standalone? And then how the story was progressing, I was like, no, but I want you to be able to, at the end of this book, feel like you have read a whole book and not like, oh, now I definitely have to get the second one because this ended on such a cliffhanger. I want you to want to read the second one, but I don't want it to feel like, well, all of these, I have such intensive cliffhangers. I'm on a ramble and I don't know where I went. I knew what I'm trying to say is I knew where I was going. When I got to book 2, I thought that I knew where I was going. And then I started writing it and I got 10, 15,000 words in. This was last month. Then I realized in the partway through that draft, I was like, nope, this is not this book. Ditched it. Started writing it again. Got 15, 20,000 words into that one. Ditched it. Started writing it again. And I got the same amount like May. I think that one was like 10 to 15, probably on the lower end. And you know what I did? I ditched it again. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I am a one-hit wonder because I talk all the time about, man, one-hit wonders are so lucky because then you can be a one-hit wonder, you're rich, and then no one knows you. You're not required to do any press tours. You're just done. And maybe that's just me, all right? You know the thing that I wasn't doing when I was restarting my book 2? Rereading my book 1. You'd think, because I wrote it, that I would remember what the hell happened in it. I didn't. It didn't at all. I had to remind myself of characters. I wrote this book in February. I edited this book in August. It's October. My object permanences for everything in my life is sometimes like a really great strength because I kind of forget a lot of my traumas. But insofar as like when I have any type of retention on a subject that I learn or a master's program I went to or a fucking book that I wrote, apparently it's nil. It's gone. It's done. There's nothing there. I have nothing apparently to give to the world. Anyhow, I went back and I reread bits and pieces of my book 1. The bits that were really pertinent for book 2, including the epilogue, which sets up book 2. You know what I thought when I was reading that? Who wrote this book? Couldn't have been me. I'm never gonna do anything like this again. And it's not even patting myself on the back to say that because I couldn't feel more distant from the person who wrote that book. You think my object permanence is bad with minimal experience? Consider it for myself. I do not remember who I was yesterday. I think it's why I'm able to survive on social media because whenever I'm getting a negative comment, it doesn't faze me at all because I'm like, they said that about that girl. That's not me. That was me 2 hours ago. This is me now. I have 0 object permanence with myself. And talk about object permanence for a thing that I wrote a few months ago. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. You think I remember what I did a few months ago? No. Perhaps I remember my failures, but not my successes. And I was reading my book 1 over and I was like, ain't no way. I'm gonna fail this publisher. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, look, we've got this debut author and they've got this great story and it's gonna continue in book 2. No, it's not. The adventure ends here. Okay? The adventure ends in book 1. Book 2 will be nothing but disappointment. I had 0. I genuinely have never had an experience like that in my life. That's actually not true. Because there was a small stint in my life where I was doing a bunch of illustration and I've never been able to have that type of artistry skill again. Like every time I sit down to watercolor, it is always it's less impressive and less good than what I was doing. But I think I figured out why. It's because when I was writing book 1 and when I was doing all those watercolor illustrations, the thing that I had in common was I was doing it every single day. And if I have found out something with my ADHD and autistic brain is that that when I am doing something every day, it's like I crack into the vein of the thing. And I've just not been able to do that with book 2 because I have a really heinous acting schedule wherein I have to work 6 days a week, and it's creative, so it's always like delving things out of me. I'm always performing. I perform 8 shows a week. And so my writing schedule and my writing routine has really taken a hit, but that ends now. So I'm gonna vlog and I'm gonna have accountability. All right? And it's not just me and my exceptionally high goals for myself. I also have you, all 2 of you who are gonna watch this video, okay? Buckle in. So anyways, back to panicking. I was rereading book 1, and I don't know if you are a fellow author who have also written a follow-up or another book after you've written a single book and have been like, well, that was where my creativity ends. Like, I genuinely have nothing else good to give to the world. Like, human beings are only created to maybe give, 4 good, really momentous things to the world, and I did that all in one book. And then it dawned upon me that the first 3 drafts of book 2, I was taking them a little bit too seriously. I don't know how else to explain it. But we were meeting the characters in a state of mind that didn't make sense for the characters. We were sort of met with initial plot points that didn't super make sense with the vibe of the story. It was just not aligning. But all that to say, I had to have that experience for me to get to where I wanted to start book 2, because starting my characters in situations that I thought were going to be successful that ended up not being is just as good of data for me as a writer, and I would argue to say for many creators and many writers. It is good to know exactly where you don't want them to be and what's actually not successful and what plot points, if you carry them out, are going to have, like, my camera overheated for a second, which is very exciting. I've never had a camera overheat before, simply because I've never had a camera before. I do not remember what the last thing I said was. Probably something about failing. Anyways, embrace your failures is what I'm really trying to say, because I could have really easily gotten down on myself. And I did. I had to coach myself out of a hole, because I was like, why is this so hard? I've already written a book. This should be easier. No, stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it in your tracks. That's not helpful thinking. It's not. I'm disinterested in my book writing to be similar to how I grew up and how my parents talked to me. I'm not gonna let myself talk to myself that way. Stop it, all right? You're great, all right? Just keep trucking ahead. Figuring out what I don't want my characters to start as is just as important as finding where they do start and why it's successful, and that self-awareness journey of why was it not working and then why did it work. I'm a writer. Good at words. So anyhow, I am on day 3 of writing book 2, and I don't count any of the other days that I was writing, even though I probably have like 60,000 words accumulated from all of those drafts, because they aren't going to be book 2. I know in my soul and in my heart that this feels like I am starting officially to write book 2. I'm not just thinking about it. I have gotten a bit of a writing routine, and I have promised myself that even if it's just like 20 or 30 minutes, that is enough for me to at least keep that part of my brain active and alive, because to me it is a muscle and I've got to work it, or it will atrophy a bit and I'll have to remind myself via 60,000 word documents and singing Hello Darkness My Old Friend over and over again. I'm on day 3 of that, and I'm so excited. I'm just going to take you along with the journey as much as I possibly can, and if you are writing something, please let me know in the comments, because I think writing accountability is super important, and so thusly I'm doing this. First day I got 1,697 words in, and I wrote for like an hour and a half. The second day I got 1,876 words in, and again I wrote for an hour and a half. And then today I managed 3,705 words, which took me about 2.5 hours. So altogether, for my book 2 draft of my cozy sapphic fantasy, we are at 7,278 words. Also, now that I said cozy sapphic fantasy, I do just want to let you know that this book is very gay. When it comes out, it's very gay. In the jacket copy, it will mention that this book is gay. If you have an issue with that, go away. I don't care to hear about your opinions. So anyhow, I guess this is my intro to vlogging, book vlogging, blog. Anyhow, welcome to cozy vlogging, my cozy fantasy. I'll find a more creative name for it. Anyhow, excited to keep you updates about these drafts and see where things are going, and I'm very excited to update you on publisher things, because oh my god, the world of publishing is so fascinating and terrifying, and oh my god, what if I disappoint somebody? I'm gonna be fine. I'm not. I'm embracing failures. Anyhow, happy writing.